Phenomenology Club Radio. Hello and welcome to another evening's broadcast of Phenomenology Club Radio. Some of you are tuning in fresh from our book club meeting. We just had a discussion about the text Meditations on First Philosophy by Rene Descartes. Book club is a new tradition we have here at Phenomenology Club, and it's actually not a book club, so we might change the name because I don't want to intimidate people. We don't actually read full books, we actually read philosophical text, 25 pages or less, to make sure everybody can do it. We only meet every other week, and each text is by a different author, so really you can tune in at any time. If that sort of thing interests you, you want to learn more about the club, check out the links in this description to our website, www.phenomenology.club. All that info is there, as well as on the Patreon. Anyway, book club is only one of a few new traditions we have here at Phenomenology Club. Another one is I'm having friends and club members score episodes with their own original music submissions. Earlier today, a few hours ago, I dropped a new Phenomenology Club video called Separating the Art from the Artist. If you watched it, you would have seen that I mentioned in the beginning all of the music was created by our club member Lankatron. That music is available now as a downloadable release called NDE. Check the links in the description again for that. And actually, this is the second original composition. The first one's called Cosmic Teenagers by Mark Reardon. If you saw my video about spirituality, you heard it. That is also available as a downloadable release. You can check the links for that, and of course our website. Go to the public radio page. That is where all of the download links for all these things are. I also did an interview with Mark. I'll be airing that one next. I know we're going in reverse order, but what are you gonna do? It's Phenomenology Club. Anyway, I thought a great thing to do would be to interview the artists that submit original compositions to the club so we can all learn more about them. Phenomenology Club is more than just my club where I make stupid fucking videos talking about what the fuck ever I want. It's also a community of artists, of musicians, of thinkers, of motherfuckers. So I'm trying to create some sort of a platform where we can all share with each other these ideas and our talents and our fucking stuff. So anyway, I'm about to play for you an interview that I had with Lankatron. But before I do that, I'm going to play for you a single off Lankatron's album All Hallows Grief that dropped around last Halloween. I'm actually on a track on that album called Baba Yaga. There's a really fun video edit for it on my Buttress YouTube channel, which was done by my very talented video editing friend Fukdan Honix. Go check it out. I'll put that link in the description as well. Since I did this interview with Lankatron, he actually released a whole new album. So I'm sorry that we didn't mention it here, but we do play a selection off of it. Links to that is in the description as well. I'm just going to stop saying links in the description. Literally, if I mention it and there's a link involved, it's in there. And then there's probably some more links. Great. Anyway, let's get down to it. This is Night Hag off Lankatron's album All Hallows Grief, followed by the audio from our interview. Enjoy.
sight in my hand, waiting for the slip, I bring you to the dam. Hear my bell wail, you know that your time is up. You don't got no time to run, I'm already on your trail. Serving the deity, blood in the shadows. Arms will come down, retreating from the goddess. The lights cannot see you, I'm over your shoulder. There's no place to hide, and the night's getting colder. Colder skeleton of ice, exploiting the vice to take you on a journey. The gambit is burning, open up eyes, you're in paradise.
All right, ready?
Let's go.
So, welcome, Lankatron.
Hello.
Hello, Lankatron. Am I pronouncing this correctly? Lankatron?
Yes, you are.
All right, that's what I thought. Where are we speaking to you from?
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania.
Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Is that where you're from?
Yes.
Born and raised?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Is it snowing over there too? It's snowing here.
It's raining here now.
Oh, lucky. Lucky. So, we were just listening to your track, Night Hag, which is sick. That's off your album, All Hallows Grief, correct?
Yeah, that's the one.
And when did that drop exactly?
That was the day before Halloween, 2018.
That's right. And you dropped it on Halloween because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you are spooky.
I'm real spooky.
Has spooky always been your aesthetic, you think? Would you consider spooky your main aesthetic?
I try for my main aesthetic to just kind of be like, you have no clue what I'm talking about, but I do like spooky a lot.
So spooky and mysterious.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about how your aesthetic grew, and also just how did you get into music? Like, have you always been doing it, or what? Give us the background.
All right. My dad was real into punk, so I was put onto that from a real young age. And then when I was like 8 years old, I learned to play the bass, and I was listening to like a lot of punk, a lot of like new wave, and then was just like learning to play like every song that I could find on the bass.
When you were 8, you said, is when you started the bass?
Yeah, when I was 8, and I probably didn't start like taking it seriously at all until like probably like 14 years old.
Were you in like a high school group or?
I was in my church worship band.
Hey, me too. So, your dad, what instrument did he play in his punk band?
Well, he's a singer in his stuff, but he tried to play the bass. He never got too good at it though.
Oh shit, you gonna let him hear that? Okay, cool. So you're around 8 years old, getting into bass, getting into punk music, and then eventually started to take it more seriously. When did you get into like software production?
Okay. I think when I got into Flatbush Zombies, I think maybe probably like 16 years old, and that I just loved their production, so I downloaded this DAW called Acid Express, something like that, and I just like went on these like loop websites and would just like paste loops into it and just like arrange it, and it just made the shittiest beats ever.
So what were you looping? Drum samples, and you would make like the non-drum samples with the DAW?
No, like there's this website I found that like people would just like upload their own like loops of like anything, like melodies or drums or whatever, and I would just take all of it.
Oh, okay. So you were just like learning how to do sample-based production. That's how you got into producing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Actually, I wanted to ask you, what is that sample at the end of Night Hag, the song we just heard?
Oh shit, I'm gonna have to listen to it up. If my memory's serving me right, I believe it was Kupstanika off of the Devil's Playground album, I think. I could be wrong. There's one song on the album that was definitely sampling that. I'm not sure if it was that one.
You must be producing a lot if you can't remember.
Yeah, I've probably got like I probably made like 100 beats for that album.
And then what, you went through and picked your favorites?
Yeah, I would like make beats every day, and then when I'd go in the shower, I would like play one of them and like write them while I was in the shower. So, and like whatever like I started to write to, well, those are the ones I started to keep.
Okay. Well, let's listen to this other song that you provided, this single called Black Soul Gym. Can you tell us about it a little bit? Did this come out before All Hallows Grief or after, or where does this exist?
Yeah, this came out in the summer before All Hallows Grief. I feel like it was whenever I was starting to like really get the hang of like making songs. And I was really into Elder Scrolls 4 when I was making it, and it was just entirely influenced by that game.
Awesome. Well, let's listen to it. This is the single Black Soul Gym by Lankatron.
Stuck in the gutter, these words are murder. Making my hands soft to drift towards the box cutter. Holy water, necromancers raising dead. Stuck in colors, dark undercovers. Mermaid dumb blood on them. I'm so sick and I'm numb. Numb down through my chest till I'm laid to rest. And I welcome guest in my heart. You can't see what's best until there's nothing left. A wicked presence fills up your heart. Thank you for the test. Now these ways I manifest got noxious dispositions all the time.
Drowning in my sinking thoughts, deeper than a fucking trench. If one of us is lost, possible to find a cause. In this corrupted existence, the distant waves change are getting closer by the day. Till they arrive and my life rearrange, I will maintain that everything is gray.
And we're back. That was Black Soul Jam by Lankatron. Great work,
Thank
Lankatron.
you.
So you said that this single was greatly influenced by Elder Scrolls 4, and that's interesting because I literally wrote down to ask you about how I think that your music sounds so influenced by video game soundtracks.
Yeah, video games are definitely like they're a big part of my aesthetic, like particular ones, like the Elder Scrolls games, Gauntlet Dark Legacy, Champions of Norath, and like other just like Dungeons and Dragons type games.
Hey, we should have you curate a radio program, by the way, of your favorite video game music. That would be really fun.
Hell yeah.
So, have you always played video games? Like, has this been a part of your childhood, or is this something you got into later in life? I mean, you're very young, not to air
Yeah.
you out.
But yeah, I've definitely always been into them. I had a PlayStation 2 from whenever I was little, and I played a lot of Tekken, and and Gauntlet Dark Legacy was, I think, the first game I played because my older brother was playing it, and he like I asked to play, and he just like put the controller like under the PlayStation, so I thought it was plugged in. It told me my character wasn't visible, and that was yeah.
That is so sad. And you didn't realize? Were you just like, hell yeah, I'm invisible. I'm killing it right now?
Yeah, I only realized like a few years ago.
What? So you've been playing an invisible character for years.
No. I eventually started playing the game for real, but I had no idea that that's what he did to me. I just like assumed he was telling the truth all the time.
That's brutal. So, as you were playing video games growing up, did you think about the music as a separate component? Were you like, yo, I really like this music? Did you listen to the music like on your own, have soundtracks or something?
No, I completely ignored the music aspect of it for so long until I started to like revisit all the old games I used to play.
So as you got older and got more into music production, you came to appreciate them more in retrospect.
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you go about trying to channel this aesthetic of video game music?
I think it helps a lot. Like I got study like my favorite songwriters, and like how they like structure like imagery and stuff, and then like as I'm like trying to write, I'm thinking of like what the game looks like and everything, and then like how that feels.
So aesthetically, you're also trying to channel some of these themes that inspire you from these video games with your lyrics.
Yeah, I always have just like some like nerdy inspiration for every song I'm making.
Nice. Well, tell us a little bit about your vocal style too, because I mean, you have a deep speaking voice, but your rap voice sounds so low. It actually reminds me of like grindcore music, which I think is really cool. Like there's definitely a few rappers I think in the realm of like spookiness, and I do it too, that like consciously try to make their voices lower. But like yours I think stands out because it's got this quality of like, yeah, it's just so guttural, and it really reminds me of like, I'm not a grindcore expert, but you know, certain bands it's just like wah, 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 wah. Like sometimes you really sound like you're doing that. Tell us
Yeah,
about like how you came to do that. Like when you first started rapping, what did you sound like? I imagine it took you a little bit to find this voice.
whenever I first started rapping was actually like the same time that I like started taking some vocal lessons, and like at the same time as I was like I guess like learning to like flow correctly, I was my teacher was like pushing my lower octave like as low as it could go, so I was like getting strong down there, and then I started watching these videos called the Zen of Screaming, and was like trying to like learn to do like deathcore screams and shit, and like learned how to like vocal fry. So I just do like a real low vocal fry and then rap over it, and it's like push my voice real deep.
Wait, what is a vocal fry?
Vocal fry is basically like the part of your voice that is like the raspy part. That's the fry. If you like learn to like make it louder, then you can fluctuate it while you're rapping.
Oh wow. I had no idea. So you actually took vocal lessons. Why were you taking vocal lessons? To sing or for this purpose?
I was taking senior choir in high school. So and my mom was friends with a vocal teacher, so I was like, let's go for it.
Oh, so you can actually sing.
Kinda.
Actually, one of the tracks, is it this next one, In the Depths of the Pensive, that you're actually singing on?
Yeah, I get a little sing songy on there.
Yeah, let's listen to this track actually that you gave me where you are singing. And now we can listen to it with the knowledge that you have singing instruction. So in the original interview, we were talking about how this track was upcoming, but it's actually out now on Lankatron's new album, Nebulous. It's called In the Depths of the Pensive. Go fucking download it.
Window painting frost, and I just my last. Let it go, let it go. When the sky breaks apart and I emerge, recognize my face, I'm a chaotic scourge. With my key to your temple, I can see what you learned. Your mind is a maze, and one day I will burn. Nothing sets me free quite like you. Stuck inside the crystal ball. Scrying to my eyes and show the truth. Darling, I know it all. Watch the fallen leaves from the other side. Now it seems that hell is freezed to top, and I hope tight on me. One will let me out, that was my time to bide. But I now release all that's pent up inside.
And we're back. That was In the Depths of the Pensive by Lankatron, where Lankatron sings for us. Beautiful, beautiful work. I'm crying. So that's crazy that you actually sing. I would love to hear your choir work if you have any. You got any old videotapes?
There might be a CD lying around somewhere.
What like register? Because I know in choirs there's like they section people off by you know, vocal registry or whatever. Were you in the low section?
Yeah, I was. Well, they had to put me in bass, but I like looked it up and like looked at like what my range was, and like I think it's I was supposed to be a basso profondo.
Okay. How many sections are there?
I think it goes like bass, baritone, tenor, soprano. Wait, no, tenor, alto, soprano, and like the general choir.
Okay. So tell us about like what you're doing these days. Like, how do you work? Do you work on beats every day? What other kinds of things are you working on? I know you're also a photographer. So like, what does your average work day look like?
Um, I make beats like with almost all my free time, and like when I'm like sitting in class, I'm like making album art and like writing my songs, and like just it's like pretty much my leisure time. That's when I'm sitting down and making music like nonstop.
But also during class?
Yeah,
Wow, that's not good. What are you
it helps
studying?
me pay attention. I'm studying sustainability.
What? Sustainability of what?
I guess ultimately humans, but
Is this a degree somewhere? Sustainability of humans.
it's like environmental science, but like how to make people actually get on board with it.
Wow. So what do you hope to do with that? Like what does a career in sustainability of humans look like? Is this like related to civil engineering or something or social work or
It can go a lot of ways. Like it can go into law and politics. Like you can be a political advisor, or you can go into business and like recommend things for like their supply chain management, or you can like become like an environmental researcher. But like ultimately, it's like the goal is to like take care of our resources and take care of the planet and that.
so the curriculum would you say is sort of structured in a way that just makes you like a general expert on these things and that's why the application is so broad you can go anywhere with it and you'd be like an advisor?
Yeah, just like completely educated on like how like environmental science relates to like politics and like economics.
Interesting. And would you say that what you do in school and that sort of thing that you're interested in, does that inform your artistic practice at all? Like, what are your thoughts about what the purpose of your work is? Does it fit into this at all?
Um I feel like my art and my like career aspirations kind of like sit in a different space for me. Um, like I feel like my my music comes from like more of a like an existential place, and um, like my what I want to do for my career comes from like more of an empathetic place and like caring about my ancestors whenever or like my descendants like when I don't know if that even matters.
Yeah, because it's interesting listening to your music. Like, it sounds so doom and gloom. And then you're telling me that you're pursuing a career in the sustainability of mankind. So it sort of seems almost contradictory at a superficial level, but not necessarily, because I'm on that spooky shit too, but I'm also feel very positive about humanity. Would you say that it's maybe cathartic to make this music that's sort of like heavier and more maybe sad in the, versus what you do in your regular life and your career pursuits in that realm?
Yeah, maybe it like allows me to like get those feelings out so I can actually like care about what I'm trying to do, you know?
Hey, it's that duality. So
Yeah.
you gave me this other beat that I also want to play for the listeners that I thought was really cool. You were working on bass in the Phenomenology Club chat, and you were asking us which loop we liked better, and you showed us this beat, which I thought was really cool. Does this beat have a name? Is it going to be on your project?
The name is Tangerine Dream. It's not on my project, but I was thinking I was going to write to it and it might be on an upcoming one after
And is,
Nebulous.
and is it inspired by Tangerine Dream, the group, or the guy? Is it a guy or more than one guy?
I think it's two guys.
Two
Um,
guys.
I think that I wanted to name a beat Tangerine Dream after I watched that Black Mirror Bandersnatch episode and they were playing in it. So that
Oh,
was just the
okay.
one.
I don't know if I chose that song when I watched it. I don't remember. I remember the Isao Tamita song and then some other one.
Yeah, you either got the pop hits or that one.
Oh, okay. All right, well, let's listen to this beat real quick. Tangerine Dream. Maybe it will come out. Maybe never. That was Tangerine Dream, a beat by Lankatron, including a live bass performance. Do you work this way a lot, doing bass lines like on an actual bass? Do you perform a lot of instrumentation while you're producing?
Not as much as I would like to, because I'm, I guess, like it's hard. It's just so hard for me to like keep everything in time, and like everything I make's like heavily quantized. But whenever I can, I feel like that's like when I make my best stuff, like on guitar, live guitar and bass.
Oh, so you play guitar as well.
Yeah, I'm not as good at other instruments as I am at bass, but I play some guitar and piano and drums.
Is this something that you want to do more as you go into the future, working more with live instruments and incorporating it into your production?
Definitely, like um, I think it'd be sick to get like a little collection of like medieval instruments and just make an album with those.
Yeah. And that would be very like video gamey too. I feel like there's a big part of video game music that's like got almost like a it's like prog rock influenced or something. I'm thinking of like the Final Fantasy VII soundtrack, I think it is. I don't play the games, but I got into that soundtrack once. It's like very prog rocky. I don't even know if there's live instrumentation, but I feel like doing stuff like that would give you that feel.
Yeah, and it's so interesting with like old game soundtracks like that. Sometimes like the audio will be like fucked up in a way that like doesn't even make sense, but like it still just sounds so good.
Yeah. So, the impetus for doing this interview was that you provided me some music so graciously to use for a Phenomenology Club episode called Separating the Art from the Artist, which you haven't seen yet because I haven't uploaded it at interviewing you right now. But I want to ask you, do you think you can separate the art from the artist?
Um, I think current artists that are like coming out right now in like this like internet era, I personally can't separate them at all. But if I'm looking back at like old artists from like 70s, 80s that turned out to be pieces of shit, I think I can separate them.
Would you say that's because in the now, as we like are listening to all these new rappers and stuff, so much of what we experience about them by way of like media has to do with their personality and their relationships with other people and stuff? Like, I feel like in rap, especially whenever we see like news posted by like, I don't know, DJ academics and all these people, it's always some like drama that involves their personal life. It's like rarely about the music. Would you say that that's part of why it's so hard to ignore these things when we're listening to their music? Whereas like in the past, it's easier because we grew up like listening to whatever and we didn't even know like the person's first name.
Yeah, I think that definitely has something to do with it. Like a lot of the artists I like find out about now, I'm like following them on Twitter before I've ever listened to their music. So like it's like a personal connection first.
Do you think that that's a good thing or not a good thing or neither? What do you think? Do you think that affects like how you take in their art, or what are your thoughts on that?
It's probably like a bad thing in terms of like amount of like good art I could appreciate, but it's I think a good thing like morally that like maybe just um like more like respectable like not scummy artists will get more like appreciation, I guess.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, it's weird because, with like so many artists that get exposed for doing bad things, it's like I rarely feel like a sense of loss. Like people always make this such a debate because it's like, well, I don't want to like stop liking this thing that has so much value to me just because of this thing that happened that they did. But it's like rarely is there a person I feel like that is just like that makes so much amazing art and then you find out they're a terrible person. Like it almost seems like the better of a person you are, I feel like the less likelihood or maybe the best artists in my opinions don't seem to get outed as being like some terrible people, and I imagine that's because they're so busy like making good art than to like go around assaulting people.
Yeah, I feel like those people, like the unproblematic greats, they're just like so consistently good at what they do.
Yeah, they're just asexual. Their sexuality is art. They got no time to be racist or assaulting people. Okay, well, thank you for talking to us. Is there anything else you would like to tell us about projects coming up or what? Anything we should look out for?
Okay, well, I've got like 6 albums that I have beats made for right now, and those are all going to be coming in the next, like, I don't know, like 6 months or so. So that'll be
Holy
fun.
shit, 6 albums. And what's the best place to listen to your music? I know that you're on like every platform, and I'll put all of these links in the video description, but like for somebody that wants to just get in and hear everything, like where should they go?
I guess like if you want me to make some money, go on like Apple Music or Spotify. That'd be nice. But SoundCloud always has the stuff for free, and same with YouTube. So whatever works for you guys.
Hell yeah. Thank you so much. I'm gonna wrap this up by playing actually some of the music that you provided for us for the episode. And I'm going to put all of the links for all of your stuff in here. So thank you so much for speaking with us. I hope you have a good rest of your rainy Pittsburgh evening.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye bye.
Goodbye. All right, so that was our interview with Lankatron. Much thanks to them for doing that. Like I just said, I'm going to play a submission that they gave us for the Separating the Art from the Artist video. This track I love is called Aquarius. And again, if you like it, check the description for links. You can go download it. Phenomenology Club members actually have a special discount code if they want to download it, which is viewable on our website if you log into our members page. But either way, you can head over to our website. There is public information on there, even if you're not a member, where you can access these links to our various artists that we interview here on our Radio Clip series. That website again is www.phenomenology.club, and if you click the menu item for our Phenomenology Club Radio, that is where you can access all this information. And surprise, surprise, since enough time passed between this interview happening and it being uploaded, Lankatron actually curated for us a selection of his favorite video game music like we talked about in the interview. And that's premiering right after this. So if you want to keep listening with us, check the link in the description for the goddamn millionth time. That's about to premiere after this track, once again called Aquarius, from Lankatron's newly available for download release of original compositions for Phenomenology Club called NDE. Hopefully you will come with us to the video game mix. If not, go fuck yourself.